Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. I am so excited that you're here with me today. We are going to make a little cute Easter treat box. So I have lots of supplies. I'm using Daffodil Delight blends and the light pumpkin pie, Memento Tuxedo Black ink, Daffodil Delight ink, Timeless Tulips, Welcome Easter, and we got the dino dies here, and we're using that little egg shape from the dino dies. So we actually don't need any of the other dies, just this one die, and it actually coordinates with this Full of Happiness stamp set. So I'm not using that stamp set today, but it does coordinate with that one. I've got my layering oval dies, and then these two stamp sets, which are so adorable, and they are still available. Just so you know, anything that is in the mini catalog is while supplies last. Okay, we've got a couple of pieces of Daffodil Delight cardstock here. They are, all the measurements are on the screen. You can see that here. I've got a window sheet. I pre-cut 2 of those egg pieces, and we are going to make the cutest little box you ever did see. So, we're going to score one of these at 1 inch on every side, and I was going to use this until I realized it doesn't show a 1/16 of an inch, and so I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So 1 inch all the way around on one sheet, and then the other sheet will be 1 1/16 all the way around. So 1 1/16 all the way around. Okay, let's have story time. I feel like we haven't had a really good story time in quite a while, so we're going to do that. Okay, since we're making chicks, a baby chick box here, I thought I would just share with you. It was inspired by my new baby chickens. So at the end of this video, I will show you a couple of photos and a video. It's actually not even a video. It's a quick like boomerang of my dear little dog stalking the chickens. If I can get it to load in the video. If not, it won't be there. So if it's not there, you don't have to tell me it's not there. It's because I couldn't figure out how to get it to load, because I'm getting more and more technology challenged as I get older. It's just the truth. So anyway, I'm going to take the one that I scored at 1 inch all the way around and die cut this little oval out of the center. And I just, in order to make sure I did the right one, I had put this on top of there so I didn't get them mixed up. So I'm taking it to my die cut machine and cutting the oval out of that, and that will be the top of the box. And then we'll add the window sheet underneath it so it's on the inside of the box. Okay, so here's the story about the chicks. If we, every once in a while, we have a chicken that broods. A brooding chicken basically just means that they are trying to lay eggs that are not fertilized. So we don't have a rooster, but our hens lay eggs. And every once in a while you get a chicken, especially this time of year, that will think she's trying to hatch those eggs, and she goes and she just sits and sits and sits endlessly and nothing ever happens. And it kind of makes them actually crazy, and they get a little bit sickly. So one of the things I like to do is, if our brood is getting a little small, it's a perfect opportunity to get some new chicks and put them with the brooding hen. Now, this is your warning that if like you have a small child listening or anything like that, we're going to get a little graphic. So just warning you ahead. So I got 4 chicks. Actually, my husband and my daughter picked them out and got 2 barred rocks and 2 of another breed, and I can't remember what they're called. Put them in with the brooding mom. So what we do is we remove her from the nest. We take out all the eggs that she's brooding on, and we put in the babies, and then we let her come back into the nest, and then most of the time they raise the babies. So we've done this. We have a Buff Orpington yellow chicken who broods regularly. In fact, I'm waiting for her any time to go into brooding. And she has raised 2 other clutches for us. So she's done really great. She never kills the babies. We never have problems with them, with her. So this is a new chicken. that is brooding, and she's young, and I have never given her a clutch before, so I didn't know what was going to happen. So we gave her 4. She killed 2 of them. So sad. So I found them dead in the nest, but she raised 2 of them. So we were like, we were 50-50 on this deal. So it's so funny because anybody who is not used to any sort of country or farm life gets very upset about these kinds of things, and literally we just look at it like it's part of life. Not a single tear was shed by my child. I just was like, oh, she killed 2 of them. She's like, oh, okay, and just went on about her business. And it's interesting because I have only learned this as I got older and had friends who lived in the city and have no exposure whatsoever to any sort of country or farm life. And it's funny how differently we look at animals, because I look at them very much like, okay, with the exception of my dogs, the chickens, I don't have some sort of huge attachment to my chickens. I appreciate them. I'm super thankful for them. They give us eggs. But I'm not crazy about my chickens to where I'm losing sleep if one of them's sick. I will say that does not apply to my dogs. I'm crazy about my dogs. But the dogs live in the house. They're more of a sociable animal. They're not a working animal to me. So and I do know people who have dogs that are working animals, hunting dogs, herding dogs and stuff like that. And they treat their dogs very differently than I treat my dogs. So, I get the emotion of oh, how could you do that? Or how could you say that? But it's funny because with the chickens, I don't have that. We did have one chicken that kind of stole our hearts. Her name was Chippers, and she was this teeny little fluffy chicken, and she laid these little bitty eggs. She was a Silkie, and Silkies are really small. They're not great producers. They're fluffy and cute, and they have the big poofy stuff on their head. But we got it because my daughter picked it out and really wanted a fluffy chicken. This was a long time ago. Well, one day she was out in the yard, and she was really bad about getting into our yard, out of the chicken area. And the chicken area, I'm showing you this right here where I'm adding this egg. You got to push it down far enough that it covers the corner of the box. So just an FYI on that. And then we're using the Tombow glue. Okay, so yeah, the Silkie was out in the yard, and Trudy was about a year old, and which is my Vizsla, and she is a hunting dog. Okay, she's a bird dog. That's what she's bred to do. So, but they have really soft mouths. So she picked the Silkie up in her mouth and carried it around like a toy for probably a good 15 minutes. Never killed the Silkie. Didn't puncture it at all. It was perfectly fine. But when we took it out of her mouth, it was sopping wet. And I think it died of a heart attack. So we were sad about that one. Because we really liked her and she was really fun. So anyway, other than that, that's what happened. So we've got the 2 baby chicks, and now the baby chicks have figured out how to get out of the fence. So they can go underneath the fence because they're so tiny. And the mom flies up and over the top of the fence to babysit them. And then when they go back in the fence, she flies up and over and back in. And it's really cute to watch. However, today they figured out how to get into the yard. That is the danger zone. That is where Jaws lives. So twice now I've had to run like crazy to prevent Trudy from playing with the chicks. I don't think she really wants to kill them. I just think she wants to play with them. They look really fun and they move really fast. And she is a bird dog after all, so she points on them and jumps at them, and I think she just is like, these are a perfect toy for me. So far I've been able to intervene and prevent them getting eaten or smushed by her jaws, but they're not going to last if they keep coming into the yard where Godzilla lives. Like, they've got to stay in their own area. But anyway, they're cute and they're fun to have. I always love having baby chicks, especially in the springtime. It just seems fitting. So that is where this project was inspired. I was like, I want to make some little chick thing coming out of an egg, and there you go. There you have it. So I'm fussy cutting this chick out of Whisper White cardstock. I stamped it in Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I colored it with the Daffodil Delight dark and light Stampin' Blends. And you notice that I put the dark on the, let's see, it would be the left side, as if my light source were in the top right hand corner. And so it just creates that shadow, which I just love. I think that really adds, I don't know, it always adds nice dimension to whatever you're coloring when you add in your little shadows like that. I could go in even with like the light pumpkin pie and do even more shading, but I just really didn't want to mess with it. I wanted to keep this pretty simple as far as the coloring was concerned. I think that I'm going to create 5 or 6 of these because I was thinking that they would be a really fun gift to give to all of my nieces. So I probably am going to make more of them. And they're really easy to make. The boxes are really quick and easy to make. So that little thing that you see keep coming into the video, yeah, that's like a strand of my hair. Sorry about that. How annoying is that? So if you didn't notice until now I've pointed it out to you, and now you're going to be annoyed by it. But, you know, those are the kinds of things that happen when you're filming and you just don't realize it. And I have to say, there's no way I was going to redo the whole video. So, time is limited, and I was like, yeah, I ain't redoing this video for that reason. So hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. It is annoying, but it's not too horrible. This one little foot was kind of difficult because I kept feeling like if I wasn't careful, I was going to cut the leg off. So I had to really get surgical there and get all the little extra pieces out. Now, on this chick, I decided to cut all the way up to the black stamped line. Sometimes I leave a little rim around, but because it was going on this white egg, I really wanted to cut it right close. Then I take a basic black Stampin' Right marker and I go all around the edges to take care of that white edge, because I don't like having the white edge showing when I do a project like this. I've never liked, do you guys remember the white core paper? It was one of the reasons that I never cared for Close to My Heart cardstock. It has that white core in the middle of it, and I hate that. So I've just never been a fan of any cardstock that has that white core. I just don't like it. I like my cardstock to be dyed all the way through. And so, thank goodness Stampin' Up's cardstock is. Actually, it was one of the reasons that I purchased the Stampin' Up starter kit, was to get their cardstock, because I was an avid scrapbooker. So, anyway. Okay, so I have this fantastic crunchy paper. I've just used this recently in another video, and basically I trim a bunch of this up, put it in that jar, and then I have it on hand for little projects. And it's just regular old copy paper cut up into strips, and then I just crinkle it up. And then I found these eggs at the grocery store, and they look so stinking delicious. I have not eaten one yet because I am observing Lent. And one of the things I gave up for Lent was desserts or candies or treats of any kind. So there is the finished product. Okay, next up, I wanted to remind you that you have until March 20th to sign up for Love and Stampin' Monthly. You get $20 in product, 4 card kits, a special surprise from me, videos and PDFs, and there's amazing giveaways. All right, here are the chicks up there on the thing, and here is Trudy staring at them, wanting to play with them. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment and let me know if there's anything particular you'd like me to make in the future. Shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. Click on either one of the videos you see here to watch those, and you can click the circle with my face in it to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.